So, a little bit of context. I made this film when I was in my graduate school program at Wake Forest University, and one of my co-collaborators is very interested in the concept of utopia and wanted to do a film around that. And the three of us had a lot of interest in social justice issue filmmaking. I personally have a very strong interest in historical filmmaking, films that discuss race relations in new, different, maybe challenging ways. And then Ginny, looking up her utopia ideas, came across Soul City. Honestly, it was through a Google search. And we quickly discovered Soul City. Nothing is out there about this story, and it's such an amazing.
Right?
I'm still so excited by it. Yeah, it's just such an amazing concept. Floyd McKissick himself, I've never heard of. He used to direct Core up here, but unlike a lot of his people he worked with in that day, which were all the big names we know of the civil rights movements, he's kind of gotten lost in the history books. So I think everything, all the themes the story touched upon, and the fact that there was so little out there about it, and we were astounded that there was nothing about it. I mean, even in North Carolina, we tell people about this and they don't know about it. Made us want to tell this.
I'm not shocked.
Thank you.
Yeah. I've got another question for the filmmaker that I'm going to ask Mira Gandy. She's an activist. Myra keeps saying Mira. Myra Gandy, thank you. And we're going to talk a bit about her feelings as a person, as an activist as well, how she took the film. Doing films like this, to me, if you're a person of color, can become personal. I mean, I've produced films that, I produced them as a professional, but it wasn't personal for me. Then I have done that with films that were. Did you feel like there was something personal happening for you at any point in this film? If so, at what point did that happen to you? Or at all?
One of the remarkable things about Soul City that I think is so relevant today is the importance of cross-ethnic alliances, so that all these movements aren't divided. And we're always so proud and find it kind of hilarious and an amazing coincidence that all three of us, I'm a Latina filmmaker, one of my co-directors is Black and the other one's white. We just kind of represent Soul City.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think I was really inspired always by Floyd McKissick's boldness, as well as the boldness and bravery of the people we interviewed. And by the way, I mean, as much as this was an effort on the part of myself, Sheree, and Ginny, without Charmaine and all of our subjects, any documentary filmmaker, I'm sure feels the same way. They're just as much collaborators as well. And I just thought I was so inspired by that audacity they had. They have such a defiant spirit, but at the same time, we're super pragmatic about it. Their plan, and I was inspired by the idealism too. It's an interesting balance. I think they represent just having a plan, being pragmatic, making the right alliances, but dreaming big. And yeah, that just resonated with me a lot. I don't know that I would be as courageous as Floyd and all of them were.
Yeah, and bold.
Yeah.
So, Myra, I like to call people all kinds of names. When they say my name wrong, I say, just don't call me late for dinner. So I won't call you late for dinner. From an activist's perspective, draw some parallels between what we saw here and kind of what's still happening now, because I know that when you looked at it, you had some real distinct, familiarities with, the juxtaposition between that time and this time.
Yeah. But firstly, I want to say I'm a visual artist, and my work is, female-centered, and it's about what it means to live in this world and be affected by the media and culture and, what it means to race and beauty, how that intersects with each other. So just the film itself is so beautifully done. So visually, I love the way you created the documentary, how you have the blueprints and the renderings coming in and the certain things. So I wanted to say that's beautiful.
Well, that's important.
Yeah, it's visually stimulating.
Yeah, because I'm a filmmaker myself, so I don't like to see a lot of archival, because I'm just kind of like a now girl. And when you can use archival and you can use photos where it's almost
Yes.
three-dimensional and has its own, it's like a character itself. I'm like, wow, I didn't even notice he was there. You know, because it can be a little rough to use old photos and old archival, so you did it in a very creative way.
Thank you. Yep.
You know,
I got historical
Yeah, very
docs all the
creative.
time.
Yes.
Yeah. So we hope, this was
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. So that
Yeah.
was one of the first things. But of course, obviously the first thing that we hear is, civil rights. This is the biggest issue, and we're talking about. He's talking about people want to have affordable housing and jobs, and the kids want to be somewhere where they can play out safely. So of course, we look at today, and it's very similar to what's happening. One of the things that I think that's interesting is we are also connected now. For them moving away and having this like space where they can actually breathe. With all the being bombarded all the time. Every day just to exist in their own skin. So having a utopia was very, appealing to go and to just be able to breathe inside. But, now we're so interconnected that that's not really something that we could do. We couldn't it wouldn't work just to have a Soul City. And as you saw, even when they went there, they were still there. Right? So it's like wherever you go, they were there and the same things were happening. I think the question of Black economic power, I wish, how he said in there that they were just bombarded Jesse Helms by the paper. So just picture that now. That can't happen now where they have no recourse, with all the tweeting and all of the, all of the comebacks that you can have, right? So we do have that, that social media and our movements today, like Black Lives Matter and things that are founded. They have a very global impact. And it's not just people who just saw that paper, but far-reaching can see everything that's happening today. And they can be upset about it and say something about it. So I think there are a lot of parallels, and I do say that the tone of the film, it models the utopian feeling. It's really well done.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy to know it because we need to know our history.
Yeah.
We need to know what's going on.
Absolutely. Clap for that.
But we need to know what's happening. And I wasn't familiar. So, thank you.
And I want to ask, this might be a weird question, but I'm surprised that people said sell out then. I mean, both of you can talk about it, and then we'll take a couple of questions from the audience after this question or two. I don't know why people of color call other people of color sellouts when we're trying to move and become powerful. He wanted to define Black power in the beginning. So do you have any thoughts about this whole thing called sellout? When you talk white when you're educated, like Michelle Obama said when she was in DC at a speech, and you're a sellout when you move out of the hood and you move into a good neighborhood. So what was going on? What are your thoughts about that? That's kind of, I was like, sellout, they said that then, what's going on? And both of you can address that.
So this isn't in the film, but Floyd McKissick is a really interesting figure. I mean, he worked as a civil rights attorney, and was involved behind the scenes, March on Washington. Every major event, he was there. It's kind of remarkable. But very early on, he was very critical of not just race relations and the attitudes of people at the time, but just capitalism in general and the way capitalism works to keep, to always maintain an underclass of people. And so I understand the sellout argument, but so much of where those very strategic moves came from was to take that system that forever had oppressed people of color in this country and just take ownership of that. I mean, why not? That's the ultimate form of defiance, I think, is to take that system of oppression and make it your own and do good work for your people. From the ground up, so I get the sellout argument, but I think it was really bold, really strategic, and I admire it.
Yeah, I think it was really strategic as well, and I think now there are many Black professionals, entertainment that we call that, you know, crossing over and becoming popular and you know, the mass audience likes you when you put your name on a bottle of water somewhere, you know, or you Snoop Dogg and you're, you know, you're selling Subaru, you know what I'm saying? We don't have any problem with that. I think in this case, it is very clear at the end when you see that, that he still lived there.
Right.
That the people were still there. That Soul City still exists and everyone is still there in the house and the home. And it was very strategic, obviously.
Yeah.
It was strategic because you know what? They needed the money. Unfortunately, you know, that Black empowerment was, that utopia was dependent on the white funding. So there was no, it was really like utopia with really no power because once they decided that we're, you know, you're playing this little game and we let you little Black people play and build your little play city. Now it's too much, they were able to take that away. You know, so I think that's a really a key point, you know, having our own really, and we can have that. We can have that now. I think the boldness, the courageousness, the adventureness, the hope, you know, every major movement starts with one kind of inner revolution of one individual. And once that said, you know, I need to do something. I'm going to change this. I want to do something better for me and for my people and for whoever is disenfranchised, right? But it all starts there. So we have to continue to have that now. In the face of everything that's happening, we have to always continue to have it because that's what makes every great movement, any change, it doesn't happen, unfortunately, it doesn't happen in a peaceful state. Change doesn't happen like that. It happens from, you know, right in the middle of the heart. So I just feel everybody is an activist in their own right.